Dun, 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 dun.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Military Mondays. For those of you who do not know who I am retired Major Brenda Sanchez, and I am the co-author of the best-selling book, Life's Real Currency, with my husband, Michael Sanchez. And every single Monday morning at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, I bring you Military Mondays because I want to share a little bit of what my life was like in the military, educate the civilian community, actually educate the military community because I was active duty, I was the spouse, and I was a reservist. So I pretty much served on all sides. And actually, my dad was in the service, so I was a child of a veteran. I don't remember much of that because he got out when I was young, but I have a lot of knowledge that many people don't have. And if I knew back then what I know today, my career probably would have looked a little different. So enough of that, because I have an absolutely amazing person with me today that I am going to interview. I have known James for, what, 7
Yeah,
years
about seven,
now,
eight
James?
years.
Yeah, he was one of the first people I met out networking out at veteran networking groups and just getting my feet wet, getting ready to get out of the service because I started my career in what I do today when I was still in the service. So I highly recommend, James might talk about this too, because I think he did the same thing, kind of started some things on the side before he retired so that he actually could feel comfortable retiring and stepping into entrepreneurship. So with no further ado, I want to introduce my very, very, very dear friend, James Flowers. Welcome, James.
Thank you, Brenda, and thank you to all my brothers and sisters in blue, red, green, and purple, and all military services out there. Thanks for having me on today. Yeah, I've known Brenda about 8 years and running still, so I'm glad to be on the show and look forward to helping out my fellow vets.
Yeah, I can't believe it's taken us this long to get you on the show. I mean, you run, you're always running. So sometimes it's months and 6 months or so before I see James because he's so busy. He's an entrepreneur extraordinaire is what I like to call him. Very well connected in the Colorado Springs community. So if you do not know James, I highly recommend reaching out and connecting with him because he can connect you with just about anybody in town, just like I can. So, James, tell us a little bit about your Army, that service. We know the Air Force is better. You and I banter back and
Oh
forth.
boy.
Um,
Okay.
but tell us a little bit about your Army career because you served 23 years. Is that right?
Correct.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your Army career, what you did, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, well, first, let's clarify the Army Air Force thing. I'm not going to talk bad about the Air Force because my wife is retired Air Force. I live and breathe with her, so no comment on that part today, but I'll get you later on for that one.
I know you will.
Yeah, so I spent 23 years in the Army. My initial job when I came in the Army, I was MI, which is military intelligence. I switched over to a mechanical field, which I was a power generator mechanic, and I did that for my whole career. But my additional duties that became my full-time duty was I was a EO, which is Equal Opportunity Officer, and I was a SHARP, which is a Sexual Harassment and Response Protection Program. And the Air Force calls it a SARP, okay? So that's what I did for my career field, and I was very good at it because I'm a people person. As a result, when I retired, the government said, hey, we like what you're doing. How about you come work for us for a year? And I actually got hired on by a company, and I traveled around the world for a year, and I taught that class, multiple locations and bases. So that was fun in my military career, which was better than Air Forces. But go ahead.
So you would say that the relationships you built in the service helped you to get that first job outside of the service, right?
I definitely have to say my supervisor, who was the head of that program on Fort Carson, actually retired a year before I did. And he said, "Hey, I'm working for this company. When you get retired, come give me a call." So I gave him a call, and I literally got the interview and got hired like the next week. I've got to say, my military career, of the friends and families I've met and grown, has definitely helped me to great good jobs. I have buddies of mine from my first duty station in '91. We're still friends to this day. We still talk to each other. Some of them actually are here in Colorado Springs as well.
Awesome. And, it's relationships. And I truly believe when we're in the service, we talked about this prior to going live. We have a camaraderie, we have a community that we support each other. And sometimes we take that, military members take that for granted, I think. And make sure that even when people retire, because I know I've been there, James can probably say the same thing, as you're still in the service and people are retiring out, you want to stay connected, but at the same time, there might be, well, they're on to their new life, new, thing, and you may separate and distance yourself from them a little bit, but I highly encourage you to keep those connections, because they're the people that are going to help you get the job or help you in your new business when you get out. Would you say that's been your experience, James?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Like I said, I got friends I've met from my whole military career, from when I first started to I retire. I got my battle buddy, Craig. He's here, Craig P. He lives up north in Colorado. We've been friends for years. And definitely one thing I learned, as you said earlier, was when I knew I was transitioning out of the military, I got started with my business early. I say I dropped my retirement papers. I'm dropping my information to get my business started, and I started my career field. The great thing about having those friends for years, I had guidance. I had people that helped me go this way, that way. I had friends I can introduce my business to and tell them what's going on. And I just learned that, hey, uh, in order to get better at this, I got to ask someone who's already out of the military. Hey, what did you do? How did you get guidance? Instead of running to that wall and just find out the hard way.
Yeah, exactly. And there are lots of organizations in town. Here in Colorado Springs, if you're not in Colorado Springs, there are organizations around the country. But here in town, if you're in Colorado Springs, Mount Carmel, we also have VetNet, which is Veterans Networking Group. We have MRE, which is Military Resourceful Entrepreneurs. There are lots of different, there is Prep Connect 360. There's so many different organizations here in town that will help you as you're transitioning. You just need to reach out and ask. So, military intelligence, and then mechanical, and then EO. What is the commonality there that helped you to be an entrepreneur and be successful as an entrepreneur, would you say, James?
Uh, Definitely having a great support system outside of it, which is my family and close friends. Internally for military was my determination to just be one of the best in my field. Not the best, but one of the best. Uh, I read every regulation and I followed all the FMs. I wanted to know everything I had to know about my military career, make me a better person. And in my civilian side, when I started my businesses, I started doing the same research. What all do I need to know to make me the most effective person in that field? I took my military goal to keep things going with me. I actually went and said, hey, you know what do we do as military that we like best, or can I bring it to the civilian field? Well, my leadership, my ability to adapt quickly, my ability to be a leader or a follower, depending on what the situation was and who I was working with. And it was just knowing that every situation has to be handled a different way. It has to be done correctly to a certain standard. Definitely. I see we got a lot of good old friends jumping on here. I see people from wow back in the day on here. That's hilarious. What's up there, Trey? That's one of my recruiting buddies back in Norfolk, Virginia, when we was in the trenches getting new soldiers.
Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining in today. If you are familiar with James, you know how extraordinary he is. So tell us a little bit, James. You worked for a little bit, for a year or so after you got out of the service, kind of for the government. But that's not what you're doing today. And that's not how I know James. Tell us what you're doing today.
Well, what I'm doing today is I learned working for somebody was okay at that time, but working for yourself is the best thing you can do. Now, I'm not telling everybody to quit their jobs right now, but if you have not seriously looked into being an entrepreneur, you need to seriously look into it. I'm able to set my time or when I start work, when I end work, when I go on vacation, when I come off vacation. I don't have to ask anybody but two people, the Lord, my wife, to make sure I get permission. But it's the fact that I'm able to go through and just, wow, just help people change their lives. Like for me, I have three things I'm focused on as far as leveraging. One thing is leveraging our power, which are votes. The second thing is leveraging ourselves with our legal rights. And the third thing is leveraging our credit, and I can go into detail on all three of them. One, just the brief summary of each of them. Voting. If you don't vote, you have no power. Legal wise, if you don't know your legal rights, you're out there. And with your credit, you have no idea how powerful. Some people have no idea how powerful you having a good credit score for yourself and your business can reflect and help you to do the things you want to do at a lower cost. So my job right now is to educate everybody on the leverages they have out there available for them and how to get that, whether they're military or civilian.
So, I happen to know that you are a representative for Legal Shield. I love Legal Shield. I have Legal Shield myself. If you don't have if you're watching and you don't have Legal Shield, I highly recommend you reach out to James and just learn about it, even if it's not for you. But really, identity protection and that is definitely something that everybody needs to be concerned about today, and you can help them with that along with other things. So reach out to James about that. But there's one thing you haven't talked about yet that's
Okay.
a really fun side of James,
Okay.
that I've seen James at work at, and he just lights up the stage. Hint, hint. So tell us a little bit about what you do. It's really not on the side. It's kind of it may be on the side right now with everything going on in the craziness of the world right now. But tell us about your other side gig or your other entrepreneur journey.
Well, the great thing that Brenda's hinted to is, ladies and gentlemen, you don't know me. My name is DJ Shield on the Wheels of Steel. I'm the man that played the beats, made move your feet. I'm here to make you get up and get down all around. As a DJ, I get to have fun and enhancing people's events. I get to make them smile, laugh, and just do great things. To me, playing music is just soothing to the soul, to your spirit. It's just making nobody can get mad if they hear the right song being played at that time. I talk, it's not in the background for me, it's always up front. I talk about those three leverages up front because I want you to get your mind focused on those, and now your mind's focused. Let me help you relax and play some music. Yeah, I own DJ Shield. I'm also the president of the COS Old School DJs. It's a conglomerate of DJs that we work together to provide the best support for all of our clients. So I'm not saying it's nothing small. That's why I'm not talking about it. It's just that when I get talking about DJing, I get excited because I love music. Can't sing a note, but I can play the beats for you.
Yeah, Mike loves music also. So that's one thing that, not that I don't like music, I love music, but I think Mike and you have a love of music different than I do. I mean, I love to listen to music. I love to dance. It's a great way to escape or to just wind down, and it's self-care to me to listen to
Yes.
music, and to just let loose and let down your guard and have some fun. And we all need to do that, especially sometimes the military, because let's face it, if you're currently serving in the military, especially in these times, it can be pretty high stress, and you definitely need to take care of yourself. So James, I want to ask you, for those that are considering retiring, or maybe they're at that 8, 9, 10 year mark and they're trying to decide, do I stay to retirement or not? What kind of advice would you give those people right now?
First off the bat, if you're already over 10 years, finish it out. Okay, unless you have just won the $1 million or $100 million prize, or you have been offered an excellent job, you just received your master's and PhD, and you can, if you're not financially, mentally, and family-wise situated after 10 years, finish your career. You know, make sure you get the full benefits of it. If you're under that and you're in that 8 to 10 year mark, you have to decide, okay, if I'm getting out, what am I going to do? If you're going to go back home to the job you had before you joined the military, why did you join? I say that key thing there. Make sure no matter if you're getting out, you have to go through and get those things taken care of. Like, let me get my benefits started. Let me get my medical stuff done. Let me make sure I got my education done, and make sure I have everything written up on my resume. You know, I got a couple of my good buddies. I see my brother Julius Stroud from Georgia. What's up, that Peach Boy? He's on the line. You know, he can tell you for a fact, you know, you have to make sure that you have your stuff lined up, folks. Make sure you get your, I can't stress how much you need to make sure you get your medical screening. Once you get out, your VA benefits go off of what's in the records, folks. If you don't have it in the records, if it's not keeping up the par, you won't receive the full benefits that we all deserve. So that's VA wise. But sticking in, great. You're going to stay in it. Now you need to make your career the best you can. Take those additional duties. Get those certifications. Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. You know what? Then what makes you stick out the crowd for the next person getting promoted or surpassing you? You have to look these things and you have to look in the eye, folks, and say, hey, do I want to be a success or just be second rate?
I love that. So somebody that decides to stay in, I personally, and you might have a different opinion, but if you're at that 8-10 year mark and you are not loving what you're doing and you can't really get behind it, and you're considering getting out, what I would recommend, tagging on to what James said, is either if you can make it a career, if you can put your head down and stay in the game and make it the best, do that. But if you can't, there's always the reserves, because the reserves gives you a way to do it part-time and get your head right and do something else that maybe you're more passionate about, and get away from it and get your head cleared. Because I had opportunities to serve active duty for years on end in the reserves. So there's lots of opportunities there where you still get to save your career. So just wanted to add that, James, because I do know a few people that are just at their wits' end. And even if you're a civilian and you've put in 8 to 10 years in a company, I was just talking with somebody else the other day, this isn't just for military. They've got about 8 to 10 years in, I think about 9 years right now. And they were saying, I got 11 more years that I've got to stick with the grind. And I just think about, explore all your options. I don't know on the civilian side, because I haven't really been on the civilian side much other than part-time, but I'm sure there are options out there in the civilian world too. But in the military world, the reserves are an option to keep your skills up, to keep going, to earn a retirement, but start something else that maybe you can be more passionate about. And when you're more passionate about it, then you can give more passion into your military career too.
Definitely.
So what organizations here in town would you tell, if they're here in Colorado Springs, would you tell the military community, let's say they're 3 to 5 years from retirement and they're starting to look at retirement, what organizations, or where would you tell them to go to get plugged into to help them make that career transition, whether they go into contracting, a government job, being an entrepreneur? Where would you tell them to get connected?
There's 3 locations. The third one, I can't think of the name right now, but I will come back to me. First, your local chamber of commerce. whether you're going into a business or you're looking for a job or you're just going to be sitting at home, go to your Chamber of Commerce. I'm actually on the board for the Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce. I can let you know we have a lot of information that comes to people regularly, to our businesses. Hey, entrepreneurs, we have this section. Military, we have this section. Minority, we have this section. Women, we have this section. Information you need to know is right there available at the Chamber of Commerce. The second organization is your school board. Okay, you need to know what's going on within your schools, because if you're going to be getting out, make sure what you're getting out at is going to be productive for your children or the kids around you. Actually, I have four. The third one is your local city council. You got to know where you're staying at, what's going on. I mean, my brother Julius is going to, like, he's right now raising his hand like, yeah, it's going crazy, because we talk about this. The city council makes changes due to your input. This falls back when I tell you about the three leverages. The first being your voting, okay, knowing what goes on within the city. And the fourth is actually a group, I can't remember the name right now, but please message me, folks, I'll find it, that teaches veterans and helps them get involved within local city politics or higher, if that's what they want to do. So those are the four spots: school board, Chamber of Commerce, city council, and the fourth one I owe you.
Yeah, and he'll put that in the comments below. So, any final words, encouragement, advice for our viewers today? And I'm sure I'm going to have you on a few more times, because there's way more to James than we've talked about today.
I have two quotes. One is my favorite Bible verse is Joshua 1:9. Did I not command you to be of good courage, not dismay? For where you go, I go with you. And the second is a quote by Les Brown. To be successful, be willing to do the things today others won't do, so you have the things tomorrow others won't have. Those two quotes have kept me going and pushed me beyond what I thought I could stop. In the military, folks, I remember how when we were trying to get the 300 in the PT test, or we were trying to get the next thing, and you would just stop. It was teaching you, push your mind to go through that. Well, those quotes have pushed me. In closing, I'd like to say, folks, please reach out to me if you're trying to find me on Facebook. James Flowers, this picture back behind me, that's what you see out there. Or if you want to message me, you can type in James Helps People. I'm down from South, so let me say it. James Helps with an S, People. You can find me that way. I want to thank you, Brenda, for getting me on this interview. This young lady here, we need to have the flip script. We can get her interview done of her story she's done. I mean, it's been outrageous to sit here and see so many old friends. I'm seeing people pop up on the feed who are like, wow, they're joining in. I saw one of my old soldiers, Daniel Winchell, we still have to connect. Me and him have a personal mental thing. We're good brothers in crime. But thank you, Brenda, family and friends. If you're interested in talking to me about how I can help you leverage your vote, how I can help you leverage your legal rights, how I can help you leverage your credit for you or your business, message me. Back to you, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on today, James. And if they want to just have a little fun in their life, they can reach out to you too, because I'm sure you're even doing online DJ. Are you doing the online thing right now and having DJ parties online yet?
I'm doing that every so often. Actually, I was telling Brenda earlier, I did an event down at the Fountain Farmers Market Saturday. I DJ every Sunday. I call it DJing. I do the audio for my church Sunday mornings, and I did a wedding last night. So, hey, it's been a little while. So my old age is kicking in, and I feel a little tired, but it was worth it, folks. So want to make sure that if you need assistance, folks, no matter if it's nothing I can't do, I'm a connector. I'm a networker. Let me know what you're trying to do. I will connect you with people that can help you if I can't help you myself.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, I'll probably have to have you on another time, James. For those that are watching, if you'd like to stay connected with me, go to militarymondays.info and put your information in. That way I can stay connected. I can let you know about past shows and upcoming shows of people that I'm interviewing. And I'd just like to get to know you. So reach out to me on Facebook Messenger. I'd love to have a conversation. If you yourself are a veteran and own a business, please reach out to me, because I'd love to support you in business and maybe have you on my Military Mondays. So with that, this week is the 4th of July toward the end of the week. So I won't see you until next Monday after the 4th of July. So enjoy the holiday, enjoy your friends, enjoy your family, and we will see you next Monday on Military Mondays. Bye, everyone.
Peace in the Middle East, folks.